Hey there, Chad here. Thanks for joining me. Let's play NewsTower. This is the Sounding Rocket. It is my newspaper, and we are in September of 1931, picking up exactly where we left off in the last video. We're just starting the week, and I have been forgetting to do ads more often than not, so we're going to get started with that. Only one this week for $2,000. Makes their job easy. They can get it done, and they can go home for the week. So that's done. Our goals this week are no sloppiness, basically. We have an old story that we're going to kick because I don't want to accidentally print it. It would kill this, and it just isn't something we shouldn't need it, so we're going to go ahead and boot it. The rest of these stories are pretty solid. Looking forward to getting some of those out there for some good points, and we are looking for a triumphant story. Those often happen in sports. So something I don't do a lot, but maybe we could look at doing it this time, is we can focus on sports stories by coming up here and clicking that. So we're prioritizing sports. I think you can also get triumphant in entertainment. Actually, it'll tell you if you roll over it. Politics and sports. Okay, so let's go with politics then. We will try to get something with triumphant by focusing on attracting those kinds of stories. This is really our only control over the kinds of stories that come in, and it's very minimal control, as you can see. So go ahead and start things up. Now, one other thing, we unlocked a few goodies here, and I want to go ahead and pick a few of those up. We're going to come out here to comfort. We're going to grab the mirror. Definitely doing that. That's a good one to get. Okay, I guess I can pause things while we're making some decisions here. The landscape painting, it counters a lot of things. It adds prestige. We do know we still have some sloppiness happening because people aren't fully happy, so let's go ahead and grab that. And then this one I think is really important, the acoustic wallpaper. We're going to put this in printer rooms, and that should help us quite a bit with noise reduction. So let's take a look at our comfort levels. Noise and temperature in here are crazy, so we are going to adjust that wallpaper, and hopefully we'll see that that really makes a big difference. Here is the industrial wallpaper, and we drop it in there. I don't know if it didn't feel like it necessarily did quite what I thought it would, but we're probably in a little better straits than we were. We can also add a fan here. That's not you. That would be comfort, right? There we go. Comfort items. Heat counter. Big fan. So we put a fan here. It'll change the temperature situation. Move it around anyway. I don't know. Might have been better to go with the sound problem. People aren't in here very much, though. The only person who is the worker, the maintenance guy, and the hauler. Those two folks will come in here now and again. I guess the cleaner might wander through here and there. Let's go ahead and do that. We are fine on power right now, so we could drop in 20 fans if we wanted to. Not a whole lot that would impact. The other place I often put the acoustic paper, though, is around these guys. Yeah, if we look at the acoustic counter, it counters noise. It doesn't produce any problems for them. The thing is you have to have a wall somewhere, and I'm not quite ready to do that. Otherwise, it'll do the whole room. And there's nothing wrong with doing the whole room, but I think I'd rather hold off. They don't seem to be suffering any dire circumstances from the noise right now, so we'll hold off there. Oh, what do we have here? Yes, one of the stories we had kind of slow played last week. It's early. Let's go ahead and try getting this rolling through pretty quickly here. So we're going to put an experienced guy on that. Even though it's just a little, it's something. Needs paper. We don't need to order paper, though. That's good. Do we have auto paper yet? We don't. What about auto coal? Not yet. We haven't unlocked it, is what that is. So we have 15 points to spend still, and there were a couple of other things here. There was the popcorn machine, which might not be the worst purchase. It's prestigious, and it provides food. I feel like there was something else I wanted to look into. Got some George Washington stuff, politics. We've acquired those couple of things. We haven't gotten the grandfather clock. Again, this is probably like prestige. Can't counters everything. Okay. Over here, that's the elevator. They also have the pneumatic tubes. We haven't got enough points to go after that yet, but that's something to consider. And I think this is the dumbwaiter. Yeah, and kind of the same thing. It works like a little elevator for moving your stuff. Those are relatively new. I have not worked with those yet. I have used the elevator, but not the other stuff. So here we have the lawyer's desk has been acquired. The books of law gives him a +1. He can work a little faster. We haven't hired him yet. These are all fun. Yeah, you can have nice little things. Then we have the desk lamp, which really doesn't do anything but provide light. As you can see, when we click on it, nothing comes up. The university calculators, portraits, we've acquired those. They help with, they help with all of the stuff. We did the hanging plant. We didn't do the painting. Paintings are a lot of times are just one-offs. I don't see anything that indicates that here. I'm curious about that though, because we did buy something with that. Okay, so graphic editing desk. We could obtain that. I think we need to be prepared, and we don't quite have enough points for it. We need to be prepared to grab this one. And to do that, I think we're going to need another floor. Let's take a look at cost on floor. I think it's going to be 25. Oh, it's only 10. Well, there's no reason for us not to do that right now. We'll have $11,000 sitting there. That is not problematic. We're going to go ahead and confirm this floor. I was thinking we were up much higher than that right now. Okay, I'll take that. We will extend the elevator to there. We will drop some lights in here, and then we will start to run the day. One there, one here. Why not? We'll do it that way. Okay. We're probably going to want to add bathroom facilities soonish. Additional bathroom facilities. So for comfort, we're going to put in the mirror. Put the mirror right there. You'll notice we don't really have a smell issue here, so that's helpful. But there's no reason not to go ahead and just balance things out. There we go. One over each sink. We do seem to have a line, and that's one of the reasons we're going to need to consider adding bathroom facilities. So just trying to think of a nice place to do that. We've kind of purpose-built some of this to work the way we need it to. Once we have the dumbwaiter, this might not be as necessary. Well, we're going to need a way to get up here, though. So I guess they could take the elevator to here and then stairs and then use the dumbwaiter. That wouldn't be the worst. All right, let's go ahead and run things and see where we land. So with adding this floor, I did just think of the other thing I want to make sure we consider. We're going to need to add the illustrator. Our lawsuit cost us $1,100. Yeah, we want to get a lawyer as well. Always more things you want, right? That's typical of these kinds of build games. Nothing wrong with that. We could put a lawyer here. We could put an illustrator up here. We could move both of them. Is this the sales desk? Yeah. We could move her closer to production because she's going to have to go and deal with it. The time savings of using the elevator to go up 5 floors versus going down 1 probably isn't enough to really make a huge difference for us. So I'm not sure that we need to go completely crazy there. Let's go look at the illustrator real quick and see what they're going to set us back. Okay, we did look at that, didn't we? At 16. We're not quite there. I remember that now. So we will be prepared to put them in here next week. Hopefully we'll earn those prestige points and be ready to go. Paintings, that was the other thing we were talking about. I'm going to go ahead and let it run a little bit. We were talking about if yeah, it's an exclusive. So we can put one landscape painting out here to help improve the mood of some folks if we need to. But the thing is, there's not a whole lot of places it can go. So we'll want to think about that carefully. Maybe if we start seeing folks kind of falling down again in the future, where they're starting to get sloppy and whatnot. But we know to keep a closer eye on that now. Ooh, a mystery prize. Well, I'm always enticed by those. let's go ahead and get to it. Charlotte will level up here by running this story. So that's good. Sports with Triumph. Look at that. We got the triumphant tag that we were hoping for. So we'll send out a talented reporter on that. And then I'm going to turn these off. We don't need those right now anymore. I don't mind really running stories from anywhere. You know what? We could do this. We could say, let's continue to run sports because that one's a sports story. And that'll help us match multiple tags potentially. We'll go for that for now. Okay, let's see what he means by this. I'm assuming it means he's upset by the lack of prestige. This room could be more prestigious. Yes, it could. Yes, it could. He's not wrong. I'm not sure there's really anything to do about it. It is an equipment room. We don't want him spending a lot of time there. Is this where he's coming to fill the paper? I guess it is. Yeah. Well, we can help with that. I mean, that'll help some. He doesn't have to do it as much. Yeah, I guess that might be one approach. We are running out of food. Let's go big. Okay. Lots of things happening here. Stories and lawsuits and a gold story. We'll always take that. Let's put a solid reporter on it. That'll be Chris. And yep, lawsuit coming. 4 of them. I think we're getting the lawyer now. Okay, let's get this underway as well. It's another sports story. That's solid. There we go. And we're going to want to hire the lawyer. So I'm just going to get that done. We are unpaused. We want to repause. Oh, there's the cab probably delivering it now. Yep. Okay. So we're paused, and we are going to build, and we're going to, is it production? I don't know if he is production. Okay. So we're just going to put the lawyer up here for now, get him out of the way, and we need to hire him. All right. Well, lawyers are expensive. I think it's worth the dollar difference to take clearance and get him some stuff to help him out. Although deadline driven, task speed increase on Saturdays and Sundays. I'm not sure that is terribly beneficial for a lawyer. So I'm not quite as interested in that. We're going to go with clearance. And we'll get him, like I said, we'll get him some... That's annoyance. Build accessories. Do we have accessories for him? We can get the books of law. So that'll be 1. Give him 1 point extra. Go with that. Back over here. Books of law. There they are. Oh, he has a lot of slots, doesn't he? Okay. There we go. So, lawsuits. Where are they sitting? That might be up. There they come. They weren't here yet. Yeah. So we'll just deliver a couple of these up there and we'll let them do the rest. Oh, he's going to go get one, it looks like. I could be mistaken, but I think that's what he's doing. All right. Well, we do now have other things to do, so we'll let him do his job. Okay. This is interesting. Lots of fun things here to kind of work through. So we will go with, let's go with Charlotte here and Elaine here. It is Wednesday, so we would kind of want this to get done relatively quickly if we want to keep it for this week. Our ad is done. They're bringing it to the desk now, actually, right there, turning it in, and there is the one ad sitting there to be slugged. They're already working on it. That's great. Is our lawyer is up here defeating lawsuits for us. So good for him. And here's where we start to need some of these other folks that we don't have yet. This needs a cartographer. I don't have a cartographer, so we can't go that route. We're going to need to get a cartographer so that we can do stories like this, because we will get blocked. There will be something that can't complete because we don't have it, and that's the same for Illustrator and eventually for photographers, which is part of the reason I'm kind of staying away from the photography side for now, because that starts to get expensive. That's a lot of people and a lot of space. Let's start here. Put Chris on that, and we'll plan on just working the bottom half of this story. So did the lawyer grab that last one? He did. He grabbed it and he took it up there all on his own. Thank you for that. We have the editor desk. Is that right here? That's text editing. We'll need graphics editing as well. So like I said, this stuff starts to kind of snowball. You start to have more and more folks to do the work. So not the worst thing that this was as cheap as it was. The next one will be 15. We can probably get there. Not this turn, certainly, but soon-ish. These are done. We are ready to roll. A gold story would be great. So let's see if we can get that one done. Set this one. Oh, it is this one. Let's set that as a priority. I think we'll be okay. Be a little tight. I think we'll be okay, though. All right. Where's our cleaner? There he is. Yeah, he has to clean up here a lot. I'm seeing there's lawsuit paper stuff going on. We're going to want to put a trash can up there to help with that. For now, we can just come down here for this story. Politics with Triumphant. Look at that. Go ahead and assign that. Maybe that'll get in there. We'll see. So, trash cans. That will be under comfort stuff. Paper trash. Right there. Should help. All right. Yeah, we're working pretty well here. Let's see if we have any sloppy tags. We do not. So a lot of the efforts we've taken to improve that have made their mark, and that's good. Glad to see that. Want to be mindful of that, both moving forward, but also on the next replay. I am certain I'll be doing this game more than one more time, so I have learned something, if nothing else. Get in front of that, and you prevent a lot of problems. Money is tight early. As you move through, you know, we've got some flexibility now if we needed to hire folks or whatever we needed to do, and that's good, you know, good to know. Part of me wants to think about, do we start getting more reporters? I think I want a couple of more levels before I really try to expand to, I don't know, we might need to expand to the fourth one. I think it'll go right here. Politics. All right. Politics with outrage. Where are we? 62, 44. All right. Not in a huge rush for that particular story. Not in a huge rush for this particular story. So, oh, we have one more here, don't we? Let's give it to Elaine. Get her close to leveling again. Man, they're just rolling in, aren't they? Yeah, he needs to replace that light. Looks like it's getting in there. In the meantime, I think I'm going to go ahead and add that one. We'll let him finish doing what he's doing. Put one of these over here too. We can. We're going to take this one down. We're just going to sell it. Okay. We're halfway through Saturday. We have plenty of stories. They're not all done, but we have the stories. Typesetter, he's got one job pending, no jobs pending. One thing I've been curious about is if you have a stack here that's waiting, if you can drag them between the guys and drop them. I haven't really tried that. I think you might be able to, because these do seem to be accessible. So I'm not quite sure. Looks like we're going to have 3 more stories hit before we're done today. Here's one of them. Okay, let's see what the other one is. Well, these aren't getting done this week either way, so not a huge issue. We can we'll use these as training like I like to. Elaine will level up with that, should anyway. And here we just have Robert, and he might level up. So we'll go with that. And it is Sunday. Well, wow. We have tons of stories ready. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We have 11 stories already, and we have a handful that are still churning. I'm going to try to... So here's one thing I'm not entirely sure of. If one of these stories is going to finish here in the next 3-4 hours, you know, it's the very beginning of Sunday right now. It's literally 3 minutes after midnight. If this is going to finish, for instance, today, but not in time, not before I actually run the paper. If I run the paper right now, I'm curious if any of these if they'll be old news next week, if they would otherwise finish today. So this one takes a day and a half. So I'm looking for one. This one, okay, so here's what we will pay attention to. Oh, however, it's got 2 parts left, so it's probably more than 13 hours total. Let's see if we got another one that's a little closer. I'm not sure that we do. 2 days, 2.5 days. All right, I'll pay attention to these, see if they're done tomorrow. Hundreds steal from Food Market and Jacksonville's Judge. Those look like the 2 that I'm kind of wondering about. Are these going to be complete tomorrow and old news because they would otherwise finish today, or are they going to be good to go for next week? But if I waited and they finish, I'm pretty positive they would be considered old news next week. I think we've kind of already tested that out. So we'll see what this does. My only dislike for this is that it is a little ambiguous because neither of them are in the final stage. So we could run this for a second until it's in that. Okay, 10 more hours for this one. So this story would finish today. Jacksonville's, it should finish with plenty of time. We do have a new story hitting. I'm going to go ahead and get that assigned, but then we're going to run the paper, and then we will look at tomorrow and see if that's old news or not, or if it's even done. And I'm probably not explaining my thought very well here. My thinking is, I wonder if those stories, if the clock automatically advances for however much time you skip on Sunday due to running the presses early. So we're going to run the presses here. It's going to be like, what, 3 o'clock in the afternoon? Yep, 3:24. We're going to run the presses. Do we get 9 more hours of production on these stories or not? That's what I'm asking, and hopefully we can find out here in a few moments. Okay, so we have plenty of stories, as we knew, and I think I have a clear leader on the one that is going to go on the front page. I think I might have a couple of silvers that are going to go on the front page. A lot of times I like to separate those up, but this has a lot of matches, right? It's 1, 2, it's only got 2 matches, I guess. We have that gold story too, though. That might actually even make more sense. So if we do the silver story, it's 86,000. If we do the gold story, it's 93,000. I think we're going with the gold story. So never mind what I said. We're going to go ahead and go this route. Here's another gold story. Fewer tags total. Actually, that's not true. Same number of tags. Yep. Okay, so second, if I put him on a separate page, we're up to 128,000. What if I put him on the same page with matches? 116,000. Not as good. So we're going to go down here with him. So it makes sense to do gold stories with gold stories, and then on that third page, we're going to drop this guy. Now, let's see what we can match on the first page. Politics, society, and hopefulness. Well, we have society there, but it's a single. We have this guy looking good, although I think this is a statement. This is a statement, and it is politics. That's a couple of matches right there. We're going to do that. Do I have any other silvers? Okay, I do not. And that's okay. We have some sports. We have some triumphant. Right now I'm just trying to line up as many matches here as I can. So this is actually a pretty good candidate here. That's 5,000 more on page 3. Let's go back to page 1. So we have society, politics, hopefulness. Front page, ad, might as well. And then we'll go here with that. And look at that, we're almost up to 200,000. This is going to be a really good week for us. Okay, and then over here, we'll go with, now we do want to pay attention to this. We've already got them in there, so that's good. And so far, none of those. So we are good on our obligations. Just a matter of trying to max out what's left here. We have sports, sports, sports. We have, that would be a tag match there, but it would be the only one if we add, well, we're not going to get a whole lot more matches here, and that's fine. We have a lot of right tags, I think. This doesn't show that, does it? Does it? I don't think it does. Shows us where we are. We'd have to go and add these up ourselves, I guess. So we have one here, one the other way. I'm wondering if that means it's multiplied. That would otherwise be 3 to the right, 1 to the left. So we'll see if we go 2 or if we go more than 2 because of the multipliers. Finally, just a matter of deciding which one of these to run. We'll go with this guy. And 2 tags is better than 1. There we go. That's what we're going to run. This will be a record print. 211,000 papers printed. I'm excited about that. Never broken 200,000 before. There it goes. Probably could have optimized that a little better, but I'm pretty okay with where we're at. So, education in the church. Record sales. Yes. Never read such a breakthrough before. Well, okay then. You know, I had always wondered what this symbol was. When it's smaller, I couldn't really make it out. I thought it was like the queen on a chessboard. I couldn't understand what it was trying to indicate. It is an arrow breaking through a barrier. Okay, that makes some sense, doesn't it? Hope sees the invisible, feels the intangible, and achieves the impossible. I'd be curious to look that one up. As I've mentioned in the past, I love looking these up. Jan Martin indicated that he does do a good amount of research to find reasonable quotes to use. And I told him that I really kind of enjoy that part of it, and he was excited to hear that. So, 17,000, making some money. Picking up a neighborhood. Did not disappoint, so we'll get a few tags here, a few influence points. And we earned a little credibility with them. Is that reputation? Yeah, reputation. And then over here, it didn't end up moving. It all balanced out. That surprises me a little. I thought it was going to move to the right. Okay, I like it in the middle for the most part. It's easier to manipulate when it's there if you need to. And finally, oh, we're going to have the opportunity for a couple of ads. I think our expenses will have gone up because, yeah, just a little bit. We had some promotions, I think. Only the one. Okay, well, that's okay though. And we're going to leave. We will pick for next week, and we will take a quick look and see how these stories balanced out, if they did at all. It doesn't kind of look like it just yet, does it? But we don't know what time it is right now either. It might not have actually advanced the time. So the mayor still wants the same stuff, and we'll have lawsuits if we don't do it. The mob is going to want the same stuff. Still no leads on that. The bad thing about the mafia stories is you can't focus on stories that'll create them because they can come from anywhere. So you can certainly focus on something. It doesn't necessarily matter because it doesn't improve your chances of getting a mob story since they'll come from anywhere. So I'm going to skip that again. You know, we do have our security guard. The mob coming over and trying to bust things up isn't the problem it used to be. They want us to make an entertainment combo for 4 points. Let's go ahead and do this one again. And then from a neighborhood perspective, I'm still going to avoid moving towards the Photo Academy, but as we saw, we need cartography now. I don't even know where cartography shows up. Oh, way down here. That's where you get the cartographer. So we have not unlocked that yet. So my one other thought is maybe we need to build towards the Photo Academy, because if we don't, eventually it's going to start requiring it anyway, and we don't even have access to it. That would be a bummer. We don't want that to happen. But I think for today we'll go this way because we're already needing the old cartographer here, and we do meet one of those to start. Good chance we'll get some of these. We might not get all 3 of the other ones, but I think that's a good place to start. Okay, final thing we want to do here. First of all, we're going to pause. It is now October. We are started on Monday. I want to be sure I get started on my ads. Let's see what we got. It's probably a 2-parter. It is. This one is probably a 1-parter. It is not. It's a 2-parter. So we're going to do the one that gets us a little more money to start. Keep them over there. Close the ads. And then the other thing I wanted to look at was the stories and where they sit. So we had the one about, what did we have? Jacksonville judge. Well, there's still an hour to go on that one. Now, I think it had 11 hours or so to go when we ran the print, so some time passed, but not all of the time. And it also is not going to be old news. This one makes sense that it would be old news. This one makes sense that it would be old news. So I'm okay with those. We had that, and then I think it was the next one down. Nope, wasn't the military blueprints. I don't remember what the other one was then. If I'm being entirely honest, 100 Steel from Food Market. It was that top one. That one is complete now, though. And it is old news. So we may need to rewind to make sure I had the numbers right. And I'll do that offline, and I'll try to mention it in the next video. But I think time continued to run. This story completed, and it's now old because it would have finished on Sunday. And that's sort of what I suspected would happen. I guess maybe I'm not 100% sure I know what I thought, but I can understand why that would be the case. So I'm kind of okay with that. It's just good to know. And now we know. All right, this is NewsTower. This is the sounding rocket. It is October of 1931, and we will pick up where we leave off here in the next episode. Really appreciate your time. Hope you're enjoying this. I sure am. Beyond that, hope you have a good day and fair travels.